You know, initially I wanted to collate all the new dress-up forms for all the LBTO3 units into a single video and just make my life a little bit easier, especially I have been consistently upload 2 videos every week, which is not good for my health. But I think each of these support deserve its own proper explanation, and in my honest opinion, these support really improve upon what the deck has based on initially and improve it drastically, and for some of them it is to quite an insane level. But for today we're gonna be covering the unit that I like the most among the LBTO3 right lines, but for some reason it is one of the most hardest to play, and despite the new support, the deck still have a few clunkiness to it, and that is Mediell. FBI, open up! Just a quick reminder of what Mediell actually do. Her decks revolve around milling cards from your top deck to drop, and depend on what type of card that you mill, you technically trigger a certain effect ranging from superior calling card from drop zone or giving additional crit to a unit on the field. And with the further support, we get cards like Noella, which essentially allow you to trigger her skill twice in a single activation, which allow her to build a disgusting board where you have 2 at least on the board, which both of them has additional critical, making Mediell, in my opinion, one of the more interesting rush deck that we have seen.
Which is nice and all.
The problem with the deck though is the fact that you do need a few key pieces for it to trigger. You need Noella to make her skill double. You need the particular grade 1 that kind of reduced the cost of original Mediell to counterblast 1, which was ridiculous because she was one of the very few D format Vanguard who has an activation cost of counterblast 2.
No!
And then we need the PR, which allow you to treat both units as 2 type of cards, allowing you to essentially just trigger all the effect of Mediell in one single instances. So overall, I would say Mediell was plagued with inconsistency in terms of milling, and at the same time kind of lacked pieces that allow you to send out a specific card from deck to drop zone consistently while still helping to fetch card consistently. And that is exactly what the brand new support of Mediell actually does. And unfortunately for her, there is only one card that I feel worth talking about that improve upon Mediell playstyle aside from her dress-up version, and that is Mystical Knight Look Luna. Look Luna has one ability where when placed on Vanguard circle and if your Vanguard has Mediell in its name, this can be activated as early as possible. Counterblast 1, Energy Blast 3, look at top 7 card of your deck, choose up to 2 normal units without Sentinel among them, review them and choose up to 1 card among the review card, put it into your hand, discard the rest of review card and shuffle your deck.
Hey, that's pretty good.
What makes this card so good is the fact that it helps you to set up your drop and help you to fetch a card from deck to hand quite relatively consistently. But there are 2 main issues with this card, and that is, for one, it doesn't fetch Sentinel, which can cause a little bit of painful filtering sometimes, and secondly, it is excavation skill. The usefulness of this card is heavily rely on how good is your top 7. But personally for me, unlike some of the comments I have seen online, this is not a terrible card. This is actually a really good card that help to set up Elise into your drop and help to fetch cards like Noella or Crapping Head into your hand, helping you to make sure that you build your board consistently. And then we move into the main event herself, Constellate Solace Mediell. This is of course a dress-up card of Fondant Solace Mediell, the original grade 3, and it has 2 abilities. During your turn, if your drop has a grade 3 Mediell in its name, or your front row unit plus 5k. And secondly, act once per turn, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, choose a card from your drop, call it to Vanguard circle, review a top card of your deck. If it's a normal unit, draw a card, and the unit called by this effect gets additional critical until end of turn.
It's amazing.
Do note that the card that you're drawing essentially is the card that you review. So yes, this card fixes a lot of issues that original Mediell has. For one, it costs a lot cheaper. From a Counterblast 2 or Counterblast 1 Soul Blast 2, it turns into a Counterblast 1 Soul Blast 1 for essentially just a confirmed superior call from drop zone. And with, of course, like I said before, with Noella and manipulate your deck properly, it will also means that you double the effect and you have 2 units with additional critical until end of turn. And the 5k that we get from her first skill is really good as well, as it allows you to exert even more pressure with those critical that you have on those red cards that you superior call back. The main problem with this unit, yes, there is still a problem, is the fact that this unit does demand more soul. Essentially, the deck became even more soul reliant, though fortunately enough, it wasn't as reliant as it used to be, but it is still reliant nonetheless. And secondly, counterblast. The main issue with this deck is that there is not a lot of way for this deck to actually countercharge, as most of the countercharge based support in the whole Radical is completely unusable in this deck. yes, there is one order that helps you to countercharge, but it costs soul as well, which does play into the soul issue of the deck. Fortunately enough, there is a few tech choice that I feel it definitely work in this deck, and that is of course our Lord and Savior Villistar Engine. Villistar Engine allow you to build at least 2 to 3 soul at the start of the game and allow you to kind of use them at the later part of the game, as you're gonna be soul blasting a lot, so putting cards like Alice or Ingrid into your soul for Villistar cost is perfectly fine, and the bit more deck filtering is good for the deck as well. And personally for me, I think this engine really helps the Mediell more than her own right line.
Emotional damage!
But her original right line worked by itself as well, but it's just that I don't really want to deal with the RNG stuff. But regardless, her support really improved upon what Mediell already has and push it to the next level. But it is far from perfect, of course. As I mentioned before, the soul is got a lot heavier, and if your opponent get a bunch of defensive, the critical became kind of useless as well. But what do you guys think? Is Mediell actually has improved? Do leave down in the comments below, and yeah, that's all I have for today. Take care of yourself, and this is Mac Megane signing out.